Have you ever played with or against a footballer and always wondered to yourself, how did this player not make it to the professional level? Well, I want to go over why a lot of good and even great players don't go to the pro level and some of the pitfalls you need to avoid if that's the level you're aiming to get to. That's coming up next. Before we get into it, guys, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Amino Company, that create these amazing supplements for footballers. Now, I have personally seen huge benefits from using both of their products, and what I love about these products is they are not just making empty claims, they are clinically proven to give you the results they are claiming to give. They are backed by science. A cool other fact about them is they were actually originally used by NASA astronauts, or developed for NASA astronauts. So you know that a lot of research and development went into these products. So to learn more about what each one of them does, just go to the link in my description down below, and you can even get 30% off your order by putting in the discount code SS30 at checkout. So if you're ready to take your performance and your recovery to the next level, I highly recommend you check out these products. Now let's get into the rest of the video. Before we jump into the first one, make sure you get my free ebook Game Changer down below. It is a 50+ page ebook, absolutely free, that's going to help you to start improve your game and stand out on the pitch. Now, without further ado, let's get into it. So number one, we're going to get the obvious one out of the way, and there's a reason I put this in the title, and it's you have to have the ability. We're talking about good footballers here, so I'm already assuming you have the ability and technical ability that could possibly at least hang at lower level professional level. This means you've mastered the fundamentals, you're really good at the fundamentals, you have great technical ability, and you're a good player. There's no getting around this. Everything else I go over from this point on is fairly irrelevant. It's not fully irrelevant because some of the things will help you gain that ability, but it's pretty irrelevant if you don't have the technical ability, if you're not a good footballer. Now, we just need to get that one out of the way, so don't think like, oh, I can't make it because of X, Y, and Z when you're just not a good footballer yet. You need to keep working on your game, keep aiming to get better and better and better, because at the end of the day, there's no bad footballer playing professional. And I know someone's gonna make a joke like, oh, this player could do it, some top level player, but it's like, seriously, you need to have the ability to be able to get to that level, which means you need to be putting in the work on the training pitch to get to that level. In fact, in the comments, if it resonates, put, I am working to become a standout footballer. Put that in the comments down below if that resonates with you, and we'll move on to number two. Okay, so now we're getting into some of the things that these are good players, but they're not doing some of these things, and it's hurting them if they want to go to that pro level, and it's simply persistence. It's very much, I don't know if it's in human nature or we're conditioned this way, but sometimes when a setback comes in or things don't go our way or we get rejected, don't make it to that trial or this trial or whatever else it is, a lot of players seem to give up, or they start doing something that basically leads to giving up, is they stop putting as much energy into it. So let's say they get a few rejections and then they're kind of half-assing it, and then eventually during that half-assery will go, oh, nothing's happening, I'm gonna give up. Where ultimately it's because you were half-assing it, you weren't really into it anymore. Persistence is so important if you want to get to that pro level. You know, having that persistence to keep going even when you get rejected, you know, to keep going for years even if necessary to get that pro contract if that is what you want. You know, one of my favorite examples of this is Brandel. I bring him up a lot on this channel, and you can go check him out. He is on YouTube. I will link it in the description, or just search Brandel on YouTube and look at his journey and just watch how persistent Brandel was in getting that pro contract. I think it took him nearly 2 years of every single day documenting the journey, showing that he was putting in the work. It takes a massive amount of persistence. If you're enjoying the video so far, or you've learned something at this point, please hit that like button and we'll move on to number three. Number three is lifestyle. Now, one of the things I go over on this channel all the time is if your aim is to become a professional footballer, you need to live that lifestyle as much as you can right now, even when you're not technically a pro. You need to see yourself as a pro in every which way and move in that way. That means doing the training, doing the workouts, eating clean, resting and recovering properly, working on other sides like the mental side, analyzing your footage, all of that. You know, you want to learn what are pros doing and mimic and replicate that to the best of your ability. Now, you might have other things you need to do as well to maintain whatever your life is and lifestyle is at the moment, but you do as much as you can with what you have and really try and live the lifestyle to the best of your ability, because it's not just going to fall in your lap. lap and then it's like, oh, now I get to live the lifestyle. You'll be rewarded for living the lifestyle now over a period of time later. But you need to adopt that now if that's your goal, getting to that pro level or getting that pro contract. So it's so important. Again, you can't be eating like crap, training inconsistently, not looking after your body, and then expect just a magical contract to fall into your lap. It doesn't work that way. Again, persistence of the right lifestyle over time is what's going to give you the best chance of being able to, when that opportunity does come, you already have been living in that way, you're able to perform, you're not hurt or injured or whatever else. It's going to go a long way to helping you on this journey. Number 4 is they're not proactive. Again, we're talking about good players here. And if you're not being proactive, if you're not putting energy into that direction of becoming a pro, being proactive, making the connections, doing what you need to do, again, it's not going to work out. I think a lot of players and people in general just expect life to hand them opportunities or to hand them things. And no, you have to kind of meet life halfway. You have to be going out there, making the connections, contacting the teams, getting an agent if that's the route you want to go. There's so many different ways in which you can be proactive and really making sure you're building more and more energy toward your end goal of becoming a pro, or at least one of your end goals of becoming a pro, because you don't want to stop there. You want to keep going from there. But ultimately, you need to be proactive. There's really no going around this. There are very few cases where a player hasn't been proactive and they've gone pro. In fact, I would argue that there's almost none. And even if it looks that way, if you kind of pull back the curtain, you would see, oh, actually there was a lot that went into it. It never actually is that simple, right? Again, I can use Brandao as an example. If you watch his videos and his journey, just how proactive he was, flying to different countries, so that he could have opportunities, contacting different teams, going to different trials, having agents, all of this different stuff. He was doing everything he could possibly think of in order to help him get that goal. You can also look at many of the top level professionals who were told they wouldn't make it, but they had persistence and they were proactive in still making their dream come true. So much can happen if you're proactive over a sustained period of time and you have the ability. In my eyes, it's only a matter of time. If you're a good enough player, you're continually working on your game, persisting, have the lifestyle, and you're being proactive, at that point, I really only believe it's a matter of time until you find something, until something comes together, the stars align, and you take that opportunity. And number 5, I just want to throw in there, and I know I say this a lot for a lot of different things in these videos, but it's so important also in the downfall, really, of good players who don't make it, and it's the mental side of the game. If you have weak mental attributes, that probably means you're not being persistent, you're not being proactive. These are typically attributes that are attributed to people, to players that have strong mental game. But with a weak mental game, you're just shooting yourself in the foot in more ways than one. One, again, when setbacks come in, when hard things, rejection comes in from teams or whatever else, maybe you get cut from a team, maybe you almost make it but not quite. If you have a weak mental game, if you're weak mentally and don't have that mental toughness, a lot of players, that's when they start giving up. That's when they start, half-assing it, getting into that half-assery like I mentioned earlier. And ultimately, you need to have strong mental attributes. This will go a long way, again, to help you with persistence, being proactive, being able to keep going and live the lifestyle even when these setbacks come in, to keep your eyes on the prize, have a big why so you know, like, oh, this is why I get up and do this every single day. Having that is so crucial if this is the path you want to go down. If becoming a pro is that important to you, you need to have strong mentality, a strong mental game, confidence, belief, the ability to bounce back from setbacks, all of it. And it's just going to be so hard to do this or even go down this path at all if you do not work on your mentality. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Now, I recommend you watch this video next if you want to know some of the habits of the elite footballers in the world, the ones that you can learn and start applying to your game. So I'll see you over there.